All right, so in this portion of the video, we're going to be starting to learn how to deal with logarithms just the way they are, or how to solve for x. So like we said in part one, logs are just exponents. And if we can remember that, then all the rules start to make sense. So for example, if we want to evaluate the log base 7 of 1 over 49, I can set that equal to x, recognizing x is my exponent because logs are exponents. So we're going to say 7 to the x power is equal to 1 over 49. And then we're going to try to get them to have the same base. So 1 over 49 is really 1 over 7 to the negative 2 power, which means that x is equal to negative 2. So when we look at these examples, we're going to be solving these, but then if we can, we want to try to start finding some patterns. So for example, if I set this one equal to x, notice I have this base of 7 on my log is equal to my power, which is x because logs are exponents, and that's equal to my number. And then notice now my bases are the same, so that means x is equal to 3. So that means that we have a rule that says when the base of the log is the same as the base of the number, they cancel, and we just get that exponent as our solution. Okay, so that means there's two different ways we could solve number 8. I can set it equal to x and say that I have 10 to the x power is equal to, and notice this 1 is in the tenths, hundredths, thousandths place, so this is 1 over 1,000. And so we can say 10 to the x is equal to 1 over 10 cubed, which means that 10 to the x is equal to 10 to the negative third, and that means that x is equal to negative 3. Or we could have just in the log went ahead and called this 10 to the negative 3, and you see that the base of 10 and the base of 10 cancel, leaving me with just this negative 3. Another way we could have figured out the value of 0.01 is think about it like a science question, that I would move the decimal to the right 3 places. So I have 1 times 10 to the third, and to the right is a positive direction. So this is positive third. Sorry, we're moving it to the right, which means originally the decimal had to move to the left 3 places to put it there. So that means I would move it to the left to put it back into its original form. That's what I should have said. And so we get 1 times 10 to the negative third is 10 to the negative third. So think of it this way. If your original number is smaller than 1, then your exponent should be negative. And if your original number is greater than 1, then your exponent should be positive. So taking a look at number 9, we're going to set this equal to x, and we're saying 8 to what power gives me 4,096. And so again, thinking that we want to get this to have the same base, I'm going to take 4,096 and I'm going to keep dividing it by 8. So that means that I have 8 times 512. And then divide that by 8, and that's going to be 8 times 64. And 64 is 8 times 8. So you'll notice we got 4 8s out of that. So we're saying 8 to the x is equal to 8 to the fourth, making x equal to 4. So with that knowledge, see what you can do with number 10. So if I set this equal to x, this one isn't going to be as easy because 32 is not a power of 4, but both of them are a power of 2. So notice that 4 is 2 squared. And hopefully you noticed that 32 was 2 to the 5th power because we did that in the previous problem. So this is saying 2 to the 2x power is equal to 2 to the 5th. So if I have 2x is equal to 5, that makes x equal to 5 halves. So we're saying 4 to the 5 halves power gives me 32. So give number 11 a try. So if I set this equal to x, we're saying 3 to the what power gives me 1. So remember, any number to the 0 power gives me 1. So this is saying 3 to the x is equal to 3 to the 0, which means x is equal to 0. All right, so take a moment to solve number 12. So if I set this equal to x, I have 6 to what power gives me 1 over 216. So again, thinking that I want to get the same base, I'm going to do 216 divided by 6, and that gives me 6 times 36. And we know that 36 is 6 times 6. So this is saying 6 to the x power is equal to 1 over 6 cubed. And 1 over 6 cubed is really 6 to the negative third. And so that means x is equal to negative 3. All right, so then we have rules for logarithms, which again follow the same rules as exponents. So for example, the product rule says if I'm multiplying two numbers, I'm adding their exponents. So if I have the log base b of m times n, that's the same as log base b of m plus the log base b of n. Same thing with the quotient. If I'm dividing two numbers, then I'm subtracting their exponents. The power rule says if I have the power of a number, then I'm multiplying that power to the exponent of m. And then the equality rule, where the bases have to be the same, that if I have the log base b of m equal to the log base b of n, then I can cancel the logs and say that m is equal to n. And I can go in the reverse and say if I know two numbers are equal, then I can take the log of both sides and it's still equal. Here are some rules that the book doesn't tell you about that are actually good rules to know as well. Anytime my base is the same as my number, that's going to be 1 because we're saying b to the first power is equal to b. Anytime this base and this base are the same, then we just get that exponent, kind of like question number 1 on that previous example page. And so the log base b and the base of b cancel, giving me just the power. And similarly, if the base of my exponent is the same as the base of my log, they would cancel each other out and just give me this x value. So we're going to use some of these rules to try to solve these problems. So question number 13 and 14 are very similar to the previous page of examples that we did, that we're going to put them in the exponential form. So my base of x to my third power is equal to 64. And then I just want to solve for x. So to get rid of a cube, we take the cube root of both sides. So we could do the cube root of 64 in our calculator, or we could notice that 64 is 4 times 16, and 16 is 4 times 4. And so we have x is the cube root of 4 cubed, which makes x equal to 4. If you went with the traditional 8 times 8, then you would have noticed this is 4 times 2, and that 4 is 2 times 2, and you would have had the cube root of 2 to the 6th power. Since 3 goes into 6 2 times, that's 2 squared, and that's 4. So just a different way to do the same problem. So if we take a look at number 14, again, this is similar to the previous problems. We're going to say 4 to what power gives me 0.25. And again, I want these to have the same base if I want to be able to solve this. And the way that it's written, we're not going to get that. So what I want to think of is this 5 is in the 100ths place. So that means that this is 4 to the x is equal to 25, over 100. And then if we reduce this by 25, we get 4 to the x power is equal to 1/4, which some of you might have seen from the beginning. So that means that I have 4 to the x power is equal to 4 to the negative 1. And now I can say that x is equal to negative 1. Looking at number 15, this one is dealing with that equality definition. So I have a base of 4 here and a base of 4 here. And so we said if the logs had the same bases, then the numbers themselves are equal. So we would say 2x minus 1 is equal to 16, which makes 2x equal to 17. and that makes x equal to 17 halves, or you could have called it 8.5 or 8.5. And then just make sure that when you substitute it back in, you're not taking the log of a negative number. Same thing here. If I ended up with a negative here, then this would have been no solution because I can't have the base of a log be negative. So take a look at number 16 and see what you can do with that one. So we're going to say 10 to the x power is equal to the square root of 10. And so hopefully you're remembering your 11-1 information that says that that root is the denominator of your exponent. So my power of 10 is 1 and my root for 10 is 2. And now that I have the same bases, I can say x is equal to 1/2.